Let us study chemistry together with CBSE Chemistry tips and tricks.
Among the following compounds, identify which are insoluble, partially soluble and highly soluble in water. First one is phenol, second toluene, then formic acid, ethylene glycol, chloroform and pentanol. Okay, we can check the first one, that is phenol. Before starting to do the question, you must know this hint. Polar solute dissolve only in polar solvent. It does not dissolve in non-polar solvent. Okay, similarly, non-polar solute dissolve in non-polar solvent and it does not dissolve in polar solvent. And also you must know water is polar. First one is phenol. If you check the structure of phenol, you can see an OH group which is highly polar, which means it loves water, it loves to dissolve in water. At the same time, it has an aromatic part, benzene ring, right, which is non-polar, which hate water. So both parties present, right? Due to polar part, it loves to dissolve in water. Due to non-polar part, it hates water. Correct? So definitely what will be the type? It should be partially soluble. You can say phenol is partially soluble in water. Now, what is the second one? You can see toluene, right? Toluene. Now, if you check the structure, you can see, again there are two parts. See, CH3 group is non-polar. Again, benzene ring is also non-polar. Both are non-polar, right? So in total, the compound is non-polar and non-polar solute dissolve only in non-polar solvent, right? Which means it does not dissolve in water. So you can say toluene does not dissolve in water, insoluble in water, insoluble. Next one is formic acid. What is formic acid? HCOOH. You can see highly polar carboxyl group, right? Understand? Due to the presence of highly polar carboxyl group, formic acid is highly polar. So what will happen? Polar solute will dissolve in polar solvent. Formic acid will highly soluble in water. Hope you understand. Remember, water is a polar solvent, okay? Next is ethylene glycol. Ethylene glycol is this one, right? Okay, this is the structure of ethylene glycol. You can see that 2 OH group, right? 2 OH group. Okay, due to the presence of 2 OH group, due to the presence of 2 polar groups, it will definitely dissolve in water. So you can say highly soluble in water. Next is chloroform. Chloroform is CHCl3. See, chloroform is a polar molecule, but their polarity is very, very less. So that their solubility in water is practically zero. So we can say it is insoluble in water. Last one is pentanol. What is pentanol? CH3, CH2, CH2, CH2OH. See, you can see polar group here, right? And non-polar group here. Correct. Hydrocarbon part is non-polar. Okay. And you already know polar group loves water. It tries to dissolve in water. And non-polar group hate water, right? Okay, due to presence of both polar and non-polar group, what will be the situation? It will be partially soluble in water. Hope you understand. Due to the presence of both polar and non-polar group, pentanol partially dissolve or partially soluble in water.